Hi guys, it is Deirdre Elizabeth, and I am going to tell you all about which you've probably heard about on the internet, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit differently about it and give you a different perspective of the alter ego effect and why creating an alter ego for yourself actually does work. It is effective, and you can change your whole self-perception, your whole self-identity, and how you perceive yourself as fitting into this world. You can do it all with the snap of your fingers, like in a second, like right this minute, if you decide right this minute to do it. So I'm going to tell you how, and stick with me till the end, because I'm also going to tell you a really brief overview, really brief, so I don't bore you to death, about the psychological and scientific background about where this came from and how you know this is effective. And I will leave some references at the bottom for you, for those of you who are interested and want to read up on it and want to see some scientific background and evidence. I'll do that, but just a brief overview of science, and then I'm going to wrap this up quick with 4 quick steps on how you can do this for yourself, where to start, and how you can finish it off. And guys, voila, you can change your whole identity. Okay, so into the identity you've dreamed of, the identity you envision, you want for yourself, you see in other people, and you think, wow, I wish that was me, I wish I could do that, or I wish that was, that lifestyle was mine. So I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to start with a little personal story. So myself, I realized what made me come onto this onto this topic is that I was sitting today thinking about it, and I realized, in high school, I was a terrible student, mostly because I didn't have confidence and I didn't know how to learn. I didn't know how I learn. And you have to learn how to learn before you can learn. I know that sounds so redundant, but it is the truth. And I didn't make friends easily. I tried, but I was terrible at it. I was very self-conscious. I was very insecure. I had very little confidence in myself, and it was terrible. And what changed for me was when I went off to uni. So when I went to university, I realized on about the second day in, after my very first class, I am a whole new person. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows my history. They don't know who I am. They don't know anything about me. This is my opportunity to be that person I always wanted. And I did that. I thought about what I wanted and I did it. And no matter how hard it was, I separated from myself. I went on autopilot and I behaved and communicated and socialized and studied and did the things I needed to do to become the person I wanted to be. And I did it fast because I made that decision. And I realized there was nobody judging me, because nobody knew me to judge me. They didn't know any better. And since none of them mattered to me, they were all new people, I wasn't afraid of being embarrassed or uncomfortable. And I made that decision. And it worked. I had straight A's. I learned how to study by making friends with others who were really good students and taking study tips from them and learning from them. I really plotted out a path for myself to achieve the things I wanted to achieve, to become the person I wanted to become. Okay. And I was able to do that because I had the confidence in myself to chase those things down, to make friends with the people I wanted to be friends with, so I could learn from them, so I could have a fun friend group, people who I identified with, people who felt more like my authentic self. Okay. And I had a great, strong friendships with these people all the way through university. After undergrad, everybody kind of went their separate ways, and that's because most of them just got settled in their jobs, got married and had kids and settled in. And me, as you know, I just kept going to school and working, and I had little kids on my own, so I wasn't dating, so there wasn't getting married. I just kept going to school and working and studying and raising my kids and developing personally, and just really emphasizing personal growth for myself and for my life. So that's my story, and that's how I stumbled onto this. And now I want to share this with you and how to do it and how you can make this happen, and the way I did it. And it was in 4 easy steps. So first of all, when you think of an alter ego, it gives you the opportunity to a few things: disassociate from the person you know, the things you want to change, the things you want to do better at, and to embody the identity of the person you want to be. Okay. And it's really easy to do. You just make that decision that this is what I want to be. These are the things I don't want to be. And you know already, you have that clear picture of what you want. And if anybody else can be that person, then you can be too. Okay, so there's nothing holding you back but you. You just have to make the decision. And I'm going to tell you how you do that. And it's very simple steps. They're very categorically simple steps. And it allows you to present yourself the way you want to communicate with people the way you want, to socialize. It will give you opportunities for networking, for professional growth and development, personal growth and development, socializing, experiencing adventure and new experiences and activities. It just opens up a whole new world to you because you're a whole new being, right? It's like if you were born again today, who would you be? This is it, okay? So if you could envision your perfect self, what would that look like? What you wanted as a person, inside and outside. And that's the person we're going to make today, okay? So this actually originated, here's the science part, from something called the Batman effect. And the Batman effect was studied by psychologists, and what they learned is that children, when they play, when they envision themselves being their favorite superhero, they're more outgoing, they're more confident, they will try things and be active in ways they wouldn't have before. They'll be more social, they'll be more boisterous and loud and confident. And the other thing is they're more resilient, they are tougher, they're less likely to cry over a stubbed toe. Like when they become their superhero in their brain, then they totally change the embodiment and the presence of who they are as a person. And there's a reason for this. And the reason is that when emotion is tied to belief in our brain and thought, our brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined, okay? So our brain actually thinks, if you imagine yourself on a cruise, standing on the dock or by the rail, and you can feel the mist and you can smell the water and you hear the sounds of people laughing or arguing or talking and dancing in the background and kids screaming and splashing in the pool, and you hear the waves and the water and the wind blowing and the motor of the boat, and you imagine this to this depth and detail. And you then imagine, you tie emotion to it, how you would feel inside, in your heart and in your soul and in your mind, what you wouldn't be worrying about, what you wouldn't be thinking about, how you would feel. When you open your eyes, your brain doesn't know you're not there. Your brain thinks you were there. And this is how people create false memories. False memories can be created through hypnosis in this way, because in hypnosis, you're very vulnerable to memories being implanted. And those memories are tied to emotion, because you'll experience those emotions when you're told under hypnosis that this happened to you. And once a memory is attached to an emotion, your brain doesn't know the difference. So people are very, very vulnerable and very sensitive to false memories, and to be able to recall things that didn't actually happen. And police and law enforcement have had to be very aware of this, because the way they interview people, the way they question people, can really be leading and will lead people to remember things that didn't necessarily occur. And they have to be very mindful of it. And cases get tossed right out of court if this is done wrong, because people's testimony all of a sudden isn't legitimate anymore, and it's not reliable, because it's possibility that their testimony has been compromised just by the way they were spoken to and the way they were interviewed, because we don't know that what they're recalling is actually fact. Okay, it's that serious. So that is the Batman effect. Now, it was originally studied with children, but the alter ego effect is the same it's the same science, but it's with adults. And it does work. It is effective. It worked for me. And now I'm going to talk about the 4 steps on how you do this. Just like I said, I'm going to make this short and sweet. So number 1 is, when you think of your alter ego, what is the very first thing that comes to your mind? If you think of, I'm going to create an alter ego for myself, what's the first thing? Is it your looks? Is it your style? Is it your personality? Is it how you laugh? Is it how you talk? Is it your diction? Is it, the way you communicate with others? Is it a career? Is it your education level? Is it your knowledge, your intellect, your humor, your sense of humor? You need to determine what stands out, what's first, because that's going to be the first thing you work on, okay? And number two, after you identify that, you're going to look at what makes that character, that ideal character that you're going to become, what makes them different than you? What do they have that you don't? And what do you have that they don't, that you don't want to have? What characteristics have to go? And what are you going to take on? What do they have that you don't, that makes them so much better that you would rather have that alter ego? And that makes that a superhero for you. That's your super strength, your superpower, that alter identification. Okay? And number three, in what situations would this alternate persona benefit you? Would it be your work? Would it be professionally, with family? Would it be personally? Would it be socially? Like, where do you feel like you're going to reap the most benefit from this? And then number four is you're going to start practicing. And you can start practicing at home alone. How does that, and you have to be very detailed, like I described standing on the cruise. You have to think of how they smell, how they speak, how they respond. Are they going to be classy and leveled up and very detached and cool and calculated and very strategic and logical and very like constructive? Are they going to be a very loud, outgoing, fly by the seat of their pants kind of person that'll throw on whatever pair of jeans they find on their chair? Like, you have to, are they going to be someone who lives in sports gear because they're always at the gym? Are they a yogi? Or is that what they're doing? Or is that what that person is? And is that how they identify? And is that how people see them and say, oh yeah, that's someone who does yoga all the time and like is vegan and eats green, or lives a very healthy lifestyle, or this kind of stuff? Or is this someone who's super intelligent, super educated? Is this someone who's, wow, they're like crazy hot and gorgeous? Like, you have to identify and then decide what it is that what situation is going to benefit and how it's going to benefit you. So if those are the ways, as soon as you determine how it's going to benefit you, then you start your practicing, and you practice these characteristics, these personality characteristics. And whether it be getting dressed every day and putting on makeup and doing your hair and putting on something great, or throwing on those jeans, or throwing on a nice yoga set and doing something, or reading a book because you're educating yourself, because educated doesn't mean educated in a brick and mortar facility anymore. You can educate yourself quite well, let me tell you. So, and you can become very intelligent just by educating yourself. So there's no limits there, and there's no price tag attached to education or intellect. So you can become that if that's what you choose. And you're going to practice this. And then once you feel comfortable at home, you're going to take it out. You're going to take it out to the places where you feel it would benefit you the most, that you already determined in your last step. So whether it be out socializing, try it at a coffee shop. Just have that persona, feel it, feel the emotion, feel the detail of it, and make sure you are dressed in character and you are speaking in that way. You're making eye contact with people. You're socializing in that way. Nobody's judging you. Nobody knows who you were. Go to another city if you have to. Go to like the next town over and be that person, and go to a coffee shop or a restaurant, and bring a book and sit and read and enjoy a meal by yourself while you ponder and peruse through your favorite new novel, or whatever it is you choose. You can do this. All you need to do is decide when you're going to make this change. And I suggest you make it right now and start making your list. Start identifying what stands out about the person, about this character that you're about to become, and what's different than what you have now, and how you're going to go about achieving those changes and those differences, and accomplishing the goals to achieve those changes and take on those characteristics that your alter ego carries and has, and you're going to make them your own. And that is you. And this isn't fake. This isn't being pretend or being fake, because this is you. This is just your self-identified, better, leveled up, glowed up you. That's what this is. And this is you evolving, and it's a growth mindset, and it's an evolution of yourself into a higher level of yourself, a better being of yourself. And that's all this is. And everybody can do it. You just have to decide to do it. And I'm a strong believer in faking it till you make it. And that's what you're going to do here. You're just going to pretend. If it feels like pretending, pretend every day. Every day, pretend until it doesn't feel like pretend anymore. Now, all of a sudden, it's you. It's become you, because you actually made a metamorphosis into something different than you were. And all you did was set some goals for yourself to change into a better version, and you made that change. So congratulations, and see yourself as the person who made the change already. And there's a lot of science that speaks to that as well, that you have to be the change already. Be that difference, and the difference will start to exist, to become. But you have to be it already. Okay, so I'm going to make another video about that, because it's super interesting and it's great science, and it works, and it'll change your life. But this has the ability and the power to change your life and change your identity and give you the identity that you want, and be the person you want to be right now. So do it, guys. Do it today. It's Saturday. The clock's a ticking. Have a great day.